Well, how about extra retardium, right? So safer together, a special event on gun violence. Join the Trace in Philadelphia, November 18th. That's in 4 days to learn about what's driving the historic decrease in firearms homicide. I wonder what this angle is going to be. Now we've talked about the Trace a little bit before. They are a very anti-gun group. They've done all sorts of documentaries and exposés, quote unquote, kind of attacking the gun industry and going after gun violence. I always personally find it funny when these people go after gun violence while never once mentioning the source of the vast majority of violence in America
I
happens to come
wonder
from
if this
specific groups.
conference in Philly, if they plan on bringing up the fine young gentleman who was awarded $4 million and then 2 years later killed a guy over a $1,200 drug debt.
Well, you see, Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love, or at least it used to be. Now it's the city of brothers that are thugs. Shootings have
Brotherly
killed
love.
more than now this is how they lie all the time when they say shootings have killed more than 800,000 people and injured 2 million others in the United States since the start of this century. They mean
Stolen cars.
suicides. Well, stolen cars and suicides, right? That's what they mean. They mean stolen cars and suicides. Since the start of this century, in March, dozens of violence prevention leaders convened in Chicago. This is such a joke. All right. It's the same thing as like a climate change activist boarding their private jet to go to the Amazon where they are tearing down Amazon forest to build a convention center for this climate change meeting, right? It's the same sort of thing. It's like violence prevention leaders convened in Chicago, the most violent city in America, at the JAMA summit on reducing firearm violence and harms to discuss steps to reduce gun violence, according to a new report, the Journal of the American Medical Association. The report, published on November 3rd, shows that 60 leaders who attended the summit represented multiple disciplines. They included emergency physicians, public health scholars, you say, psychiatrists, historians, and social workers. Just 60 retards in a room. What could go wrong? The summit was the first of its kind presented by the medical journal. Its purpose to develop a roadmap for sustainability for substantially curtailing the number of shooting deaths and injuries over the next 15 years. We've gained a lot of knowledge and can point to a variety of things that seem to reduce gun violence, but still, there's a lot we don't know. And there's still a lot of challenges, said Daniel Webster, public health scholar at Johns Hopkins University, who has studied gun violence for over 30 years. Gun violence as a major public health issue has received more attention and federal funding in recent years. In
Hmm.
2024, then U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek, that don't sound like he should be here, huh? Vivek Murthy issued his office first ever warning about gun violence, far reaching effects, reinvigorating prevention efforts. How do we prevent the gun violence, Richard? How do we do that?
With guns.
More violence can reduce violence long term. Yeah, short term violence can be a viable solution. But since President Donald Trump returned to the White House, his administration has rolled back much of that progress. Oh, good. Trump is not good on guns, right? But just defunding and not allowing these people to waste money on this sort of thing is at least a good thing, right? So even if he's not good on guns, even if the Republicans are lax retards when they're in power,
I just want to
at
know how
least,
this guy had 30 years worth of funding to study this.
dude, the people funding this stuff, it's all black money, basically, right? Coming from the three black organizations that
That's
just
racist, sir.
millions and millions and millions of dollars for this stuff, dude. But since President Donald Trump returned to the White House, his administration has rolled back much of that progress. Layoffs at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention have decimated the unit. I hope so. Responsible for studying and helping to prevent shootings, and federal funding for research and community programs has dwindled. Community programs should be community policing. How about that? During the summit, leaders called for a research revolution on preventing like how much. Like, listen, I can just pull up the stats for you right now on gun violence. All right, I can just pull it up. I can pull it up. Research revolution on preventing gun-related harms is one of the 5 steps needed to improve public safety by 2040. According to the report, the other steps emphasize strengthening communities, reframing gun injuries as a preventable issue, taking a whole of government and society approach to addressing violence and harnessing regulatory and technological opportunities responsibly. I have a meme for this, Richard. All right. I got to find it real fast, though. So just give me a second. I believe I sent this meme to my wife. So let me see if I can find it real fast. Do, 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 do. Is it this one? No, no, no. Trying to figure out where I put it. There's way too many. No, maybe I didn't send it to my wife. Where would I have sent it to? Don't mind me. Trust me, this will be worth it once I find it. If I can find it. Gosh, these guys send a lot of memes. Maybe I can't find it. I'm going to be really disappointed if I can't find it. It was very funny. I don't know if I can find it. Tragic. That's tragic, dude. Unbelievable. Anyways, it would have been good. Trust me, it would have been funny, gentlemen. Maybe I put it somewhere else. Let me see real fast. No, not that one. Okay, there's a lot of funny ones in here, but not all of them are appropriate for your YouTube. Okay. Nah, that one's good. That one's good. It's one very specific. Gosh dang it, dude. I know I sent it or saved it somewhere, but it appears to be gone, which is tragic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Gosh dang it. I can't find it. Anyways, we continue on. All right. Dr. Stephen Hargarten, an emergency physician and professor at the Medical College of Wisconsin, has spent his career studying how regulatory and technological innovations can help reduce firearm deaths. So really what it comes down to is regulation, right? That's what they want. They're advocating for more gun control. No matter how they try and coach it, no matter how they try and clean it up, it just comes down to regulation. They want to use the power of the state to disarm you specifically, although they're fine with the youths committing gun violence. They want community reform for them, and they want jail time for you. And technological innovation can help reduce firearm deaths. He spoke about the Firearm Lethality Index, a new metric to measure the deadliness of different guns and bullets. I mean, that's pretty easy to figure out, something that could help policymakers. Well, so this is weird. So different guns and bullets, we'll see how lethal they are so that policymakers can better decide on how to respond to varying levels of harm. So imagine like a tax being implemented for larger calibers, like specifically a deadly tax. So like 9mm has a zero tax, but if you go to 10mm or 45, then you have a substantial tax increase as the rounds get more and more lethal, right? So 10mm has a higher tax, and then all rifle rounds, as they get more dangerous, quote unquote, they have a higher tax, right? Is that what they're trying to do here?
That's what it sounds like.
Basically banning everything that's not 22, because 22 is the only one that has a very low kill rate if you look at it. So I think we should base a policy based upon lethality, all right? Because we need to keep you safe. You can only defend your home with the 22 against the thugs that don't care about it. We wanted to look at how technology's innovations affect things, suicide rates, homicides, and firearm thefts. Well, I'll tell you right now, it's mostly suicide rates. So maybe if we remove everybody that shouldn't be here, we give everybody jobs, and we have housing reform and a bunch of other fun stuff, and we give people a reason to live, a reason to strive, something to fight for, a future that works for them. Maybe then they'll stop killing themselves. Maybe, maybe if men didn't feel like they didn't have an option moving forward, maybe if they didn't feel like they're never going to have a family, they're never going to own a home, they're never going to have a job that they want, maybe if they weren't wage slaves trapped in debt for generations, maybe then they wouldn't be looking at taking that easy way out.
I wonder what percentage of that is veterans.
It's a large part of that is veterans as well, for sure. Homicides and firearm thefts, and whether something like a smart gun could play a role in reducing gun-related harms. Hargarten told The Trace he also explained to the other leaders how Congress could empower federal regulators to require certain safety features in firearms. As it stands, they don't have any oversight, and we feel that's something for us to be looking at. They want everyone to be like California, where you're going to have magazine disconnects, you're going to have capacity limits, you're going to have some sort of firing pin that marks the bullet when it gets fired. Because I remember that was like a potential restriction on
Even though
California
the
for a little
tech
while.
doesn't exist.
Right. Well, that's what this is looking into. It's like, how do we regulate everything to make sure that people are safe? And by safe, we mean disarmed. The
Huh.
report on the summit lays out several approaches that research has shown reduce firearm death. Live in a more white area. Or the most ideal, live in an all Asian area. And by Asian, I mean Asian, not Indian. All right. Statistically speaking, if you live around Asian grandmas, I think you're at the lowest risk of crime, gun violence, or really any violence. Now,
Hey,
however,
the Roof Korean meme is a thing for a reason.
right, but however, now if you do take that route and you decide to move into a Korean grandma neighborhood, the fender benders just go through the roof. Okay, so no gun violence, but your curbs and your cars, if you park anywhere, it's just a nightmare. Okay, it's basically it's basically a free for all on those roads. Okay, but no gun violence though.
What's
No gun
the
violence.
Family Guy meme? How much warning I need to cross 8 lanes? None. I turn now. Good luck, everybody.
I don't know. Good luck, everybody else. Do foreign policies, violence intervention programs, environmental changes, alcohol policies, socioeconomic policies. Listen, I know a lot of socioeconomic factors committing crimes. Okay, and
I could see where
policing interventions.
most of those could change things, but what are environmental changes going
What
to
if instead of firearm policies, what if instead of community violence intervention programs, what if instead of environmental changes, alcohol policies, socioeconomic policies, what if we just policed people who committed crimes? What if we just did that? What if we just threw them all in jail?
what? Make murder illegal again?
I'm talking about all. What if we made theft legal or illegal again? Right? You know, in California, is it $900?
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Is it $900 you can steal before getting charged with it? Because I know it was 500, but then it got raised to 900.
When you consider the fact that it's like $495 for an hour in California, I mean, that's, they're not getting a whole lot, but they are getting something.
Yeah, what if we just made crime illegal again? I feel like that would fix the issue. The report also noted that even though homicide rates have declined over the past 2 years, more people believe that crime is increasing. More effective research and communication are needed to combat these misconceptions. The report argues it is a dark and challenging time for quote unquote Americans who care about public health and reducing gun violence. Nick Wilson, a summit participant and the senior director for gun violence prevention at the Center for American Progress, that's a mouthful, said in an email. The summit reaffirmed my optimism that we will get through this and rebuild our institutions stronger than ever. I hope not. And it will build support for future federal action by demonstrating what works. So essentially, what they're doing is we're doing this research, but really all we want to do is gun control. All we want to do is regulation, right? We want to remove your ability to defend yourself from certain individuals. Now, this is Chicago Index of Crime, which is very nice. Thank you for providing this, Richard. Total crime in the past 365 days, 250,000. Index crimes the past violent and property fines, 100,000. Violent crime by itself, 222,000. Property crime, 81,000. And you can just kind of see a this is, what are we looking at here?
Well, if you go over, that's a map of the area crimes there. You can zoom in and see what's what. You can filter it out.
Just out of a, can I filter by race?
Oh, of course not. It's the Chicago police.
Can I filter by race? Well, actually, let me look up a this should actually be easy. This should actually be easy. I'm gonna look up a racial dot map for Chicago, and we'll do a little side by side comparison.
And afterwards, I'll have you scroll down just a little bit. I want to point something out I found rather interesting at the way that the Chicago police groups their data.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Registered sex and gun offenders, meaning they're putting people who have gun charges on the same map as the sex offenders.
That is quite strange. Interesting. Okay, well, so here we have, let me show you this. This is our racial dot map right here. So green is black, red is Hispanic, blue is white. Now, something that I always find interesting about these areas is you can see that people basically self segregate, even in Chicago, even in hellholes. You can see like South Side, basically all black, almost exclusively, right? You got a little rich suburb here, basically all black. West Side, pretty heavily Hispanic, right? You got a little bit of black up here too. Blue, richer suburbs on the outskirts, almost exclusively blue, right? So all of suburbia, basically blue, which is white. And then you got the inner city, which is dominated by blacks and Hispanics. So
A couple of real heavy Asian
even
populations too.
a couple purples, yeah, but Asians, we know this. We know that
Yeah.
there's Asian towns, right? There's China towns within every major US city, right? They make their own places because they like to be around their own people. It's like, of course. So even in a equal society, right, where we're all equal under the law, people naturally self-segregate. Like and this is Chicago, right? Crazy sort of self-segregation. Now, let's see here really fast. Can I do custom date range? Can I
Mhm.
do, let's go to January 1st of this year and to October 31st. Let's do that. Oh, sorry. Oh, shoot. You're going to make me do it again, aren't you? Gosh dang it. Fine. Whatever. I didn't click through. I clicked the wrong one. January 1st. There. Violent crime, property crime, other crime. Let's just do that. Should be fine, right? And let me see all of Chicago. Are you going to pull up for me?
10,000 violent crimes.
Yeah, but I want to see.
So you have to by district, I think.
Really? You're not just going to show me the whole map? Come on. Show me the map. What do I have to do to get it to work? Do I have to click on a district?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're popping up there.
Can I make this bigger? How do I full screen this? Default map view. Can I make this bigger? Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see. South Side. Well, actually, it's funny. So this corresponds to lots of violence in the South Side for reasons.
And that strip right there where the Hispanic population was, where it's bright yellow.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
That is crazy.
That's that strip of dark red right there.
Now, if you could just, can I just, I wish you could actually see this and actually blow this up. It's a terrible website, but you get it. You get it. All right.
Well, it's ran by the city of Chicago.
If you could make your map work for me so I could do my racism, that would be great. Thank you very much.
But hey,
All right.
they update the gun and sex offender registry list daily.
Well, yeah, that's so funny that they put them together. That's messed up, dude. How dare you associate me with those people,
Right?
quote unquote.